James Lynch here for Home of Fight. Great catching up with Michael Chiesa as he's got a hometown fight coming up here. And if I'm understanding here, he's going to confirm it for me in this interview. You're now fighting Nico Price, right, on UFC Seattle.
I'm not sure who I'm fighting. They haven't released it yet. I'll let it go through the proper channels. Honestly, it's been up in the air between a few people. Kind of talking to Sean about this whole process. There was like four of us that were needing short notice replacements. So all I've been told is I have a fight. I have a fight 100%. And that's honestly most important, James. Like I've had, I call it like the Seattle curse ever since I got in the UFC, as an amateur and a pro. And as I was coming up as a pro, I cut my teeth in the Pacific Northwest, in Oregon, in Idaho, Eastern Washington, Western Washington. But once I got in the UFC, I've just been cursed. The first time I was going to fight in Seattle, I got staph and shingles the week before. The second time I was supposed to fight Reza Madadi, he got caught stealing purses. And then I got Jorge Masvidal on short notice, lost my first pro fight. And then last year, fought UFC 310 against Max Griffin. And then really we were struggling to find an opponent that kind of made sense, especially, finally getting some momentum, get on a 2-fight win streak. And then the day that we were kind of going to try to settle on a name, I found my dog of 10 years dead in my yard. So Sean was just like, dude, you're sitting this one out. Like your head's not in it. You just fought. It's a fast turnaround. And I just kept training after, I didn't get pulled from the card, but just like after they were like, we're going to move on. I actually pulled my back like a week later. So I think that just no matter what, I just wouldn't have been able to fight on that card. And so there was a lot of panic with this whole process when I lost Carlson. I was just like, dude, I have like, forget about the tickets, forget about all the people going, the t-shirts, all that shit. Like, it's like, I just want to fight at home. Like, I just want to fight at home so bad. Like, especially, with this being the last one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I guess you're going to be on the card. It's just still putting pen to paper as far as the opponent. Were you worried you wouldn't get on this card? Because like you said, it's you've had it before where it's been tough to get opponents sometimes. Like when did you get the confirmation? I guess that you were 100% going to be on the card.
I mean, just through the whole process, Sean was just like, don't worry, like you're going to be on the card. Like it's, they know how important this is to me, man. It's like, it's one of those things where like, I'm not going to be one of those guys that's like going to retire and come back. They know that I'm going to be done. I'm 38 years old. I retire and come back when I'm 39 or 40. I'm just not going to be one of those guys. I've been doing this for almost 20 years. And they know I mean it. So, but it's just hard not to go back to that place. It's hard not to go back to that place. Especially when I got pulled from Miami. I was supposed to fight Miami against Li Jingliang in 2023. And that was a little bit more of a different scenario where I had a number next to my name, so they can't just throw anybody in there. But it's just hard not to go to that negative space when I'm just cursed. It's just like the Seattle curse for me. It's just been such a thing through my career ever since 2012. So I think the curse is broken. I'm just watching out for banana peels and making sure when I'm driving through stoplights, there's no one blowing any green lights, or red lights or any of that
No
shit.
Black cats, no broken mirrors.
Yeah, no black cats. I'm not walking under any fucking ladders, pardon my language, but
yeah, go for it.
Yeah, but I feel good, man. So just knowing, I just trust the process. When, Sean's a man of his word. If he says, I got to fight, I got to fight. So whoever it is, I'll be ready.
Okay, that makes sense. Was the plan always to just fight on this card? Like once they announced that they were coming back to Seattle, was that kind of the plan? Like, I don't want to take another fight until it's Seattle. Was that kind of the idea there?
No, not really. I thought last year was my last opportunity. I thought last year would be the last chance that I would get to fight in Seattle. And to be honest with you, like, if I had gotten to fight in Seattle last year, that might have been my last fight as well. I mean, to me, it's like, yeah, I'm making real money now. I have a better contract than I've ever had. But money's just not everything to me, man. And I'm obviously this fight week, I'm going to talk a lot about that. A lot of people are going to be asking me these things. So I guess you're kind of the first to hear it, but I love fighting so much. Like it's such a big part of my life. It has given me everything. I met my wife through fighting. I live in this beautiful house because of fighting. Live the life I want to live because of fighting. But I I want to live, I want to live the rest of my life doing other stuff. I want to go golf and not have to worry about having to rush home to train. And it's just like, I'm not a guy that like sits on the couch and then jumps into camp. Like I'm always in the gym. I've never been a guy that's gotten as far as I have on talent. I've gotten there because of hard work. So I'm just ready to kind of enjoy my life and not have, I guess you would say, I don't want to say the burden of training because I love training, but like I'm ready to just kind of enjoy my life unshackled, I
Yeah.
guess you could say,
Yeah.
but no matter what, this is the first love of my life. I love fighting so much. It's going to be hard. It's hard to walk away, but this is the right one. If it wasn't Seattle for this one, honestly, I probably would have fought out this contract. I have 3 more fights.
Mhm.
And it's not like I would fight it out and go into free agency, but I would just fight it out just to say I did it, fulfill my obligation, and then move on. So yeah, I'm leaving money on the table, but money's not everything, dude. To be able to make that last walk at home, and there's going to be people sitting in that crowd that have watched me do this for 18 years live. That
Mhm.
have gone to Club Element on Division here in Spokane and watched me fight my first fight in front of 50 people, 100 people. So that's more important to me than making more money.
Yeah, no, I respect that. Absolutely. So do you have an idea, like, when you'll find out you get the opponent? I would assume early next week, you're going to get a confirmation there, I would assume.
Yeah, I think here shortly. I wouldn't be surprised if it was today.
Mhm.
And you would think that would stress me out, and it has been a little bit of a stressful process. Like I've been very specific with Carlston, and I know, I like the way that the matchmakers think because a lot of people wonder why Carlston, and it's like, well, what has been my kryptonite historically? Tall, rangy strikers with good front chokes. So
Mhm.
it's like, hey, if this is your last fight, let's see if you can pass this test.
Mhm.
One more time. So I liked the challenges that he presented. And for me, I'm a very analytical guy, obviously. I love tactics, I love game planning. Um, and so obviously there's a little bit of, essentially, there was some panic like, well, who am I fighting? How am I going to game plan? And I got to remind myself, like, when I was coming up as an amateur and even as a pro, me and my friends would jump in a car. All of us were fighters. We would jump in a car, we would drive to a venue, and we would show up, and the promoter would just be like, you're going to fight that guy.
Mhm.
And then you're going to fight that guy and you're going to fight that guy. So it's like essentially the foundation of my fighting career has been built on going into the unknown. So I have to remind myself of that sometimes. So it's kind of like, to me, it's almost kind of like a throwback fight.
Yeah.
Don't know who it is. Don't have a game plan. I'm just going to show up and fight somebody. And maybe sometimes that's when I fight my best.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a throwback fight. It seems very fitting given the fact it's in Seattle as well.
I agree. Camp, what's that look like? Everything at home, obviously. Who'd you get to work with? Who helped you get ready for this fight?
Dude, this has been a long one, very long one. When I found out it was Seattle, and I don't know if I should be saying this or not, but um, so when I kind of heard it through the channels that it was going to be Seattle, they weren't sure on a date, so it was like either going to be
It's supposed to be end of February. Yeah, I heard Houston got the original date. That's what I heard. So
yeah, so it
yeah,
was going to be first. I heard March 28th, so I'm like,
yeah,
okay, and I think this is by this time. This is probably, I think it was like end of November,
yeah.
pretty close to the end of November, um, maybe December. So I kind of like first heard it was March. It was going to be Seattle. I'm like, oh shit, I got a lot of time. That's going to be it. I'm not taking any other fights until I figure out if it's Seattle or not. And then they're like, okay, well now it's going to be April 21st. I'm like, oh shit, I got to start training. Like it's like obviously the biggest thing I stay on top of is jujitsu, strength conditioning, my bread and butter. Always on top of that, in and out of camp. So I'm like, okay, we got to start ramping up sparring. We got like 10 weeks. So started to pick up the training. And then when I heard it got moved to March, that's when I kind of laid off the gas. But essentially, like I've been in a very strict discipline camp since after the first of the year. I mean, we're talking I haven't had pizza in 11 weeks. And like, even when I'm in
Wow.
training camp, it's like, we'll make homemade pizzas so they're healthy. Um, I've been off the plant for a while, if you know what I
Oh
mean.
yeah.
Really dotting my I's and crossing my T's on this one. Like, if it's going to be my last one, I'm like, I want to go all in, leave no stone unturned. Like,
Yep.
I'm like pushing all my chips in. So it's been a 12-week camp. And obviously I'm working with my day ones. Austin Arnett, Sam Cecilia. I drive down to Austin's to spar, do his striking classes, hit mitts with him. Austin's a phenomenal striking coach, great mixed martial artist as well. He might have some fight news coming up soon, which excites me.
Good.
Um, Obviously, I spent some time in Las Vegas. Got to train with Robert Whittaker, which was pretty freaking
Oh,
awesome.
cool. Tell me about that.
Yeah. Oh, dude, training with Rob was awesome. And I could tell he was going to light heavyweight. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, dude, to go work the desk with Robert, hang out with him, pick his brain. I mean, he's got a brilliant mind for the sport. And I've just always been a fan of his style. So, you know, it was good to get some training in with him. I worked with a lot of bigger guys at the beginning of camp while I still had the size on me. Daryl Walker down at Syndicate. When I was supposed to fight Carlson, I worked with Daryl, who I used for my Kevin Holland camp. He's, you know, great up and coming guy, super talented. Obviously working with John Wood and those guys. So spent a little time down there and then just been back at home. Ashton Charlton, Rick Little, Jaden Ortega. We got so much young talent in our gym right now. I'm the unk, you know, I'm the Uncle Chiesa. Like all these kids are like, I think aside from me, I think Brady's like the oldest one at like 26 or 25 or some shit like that. So it's time to pass the torch, dude. It's like, I'm ready to step aside. Could I keep going? Absolutely. I still got it. My body's still healthy. This camp has been great. You know, there have been some people that are like, you really want to stop right now when you're still getting better? And I'm like, yeah, I do. I want to go out on a 5-fight win streak.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say 5-fight win streak, that's because, you know, I can't get through an interview without throwing Colby Covington under the bus. Fucking dork. Yeah, that guy turned down a fight against me for a main event for a tough finale main event. Turned down a fight against me. So I got my win over him. It's 4-0 going into this fight. I'm going to go 5-0. I'm going to retire and I'm out. So
what tough main event was that last year?
Yeah, when I was coaching Ultimate Fighter on Team Cormier. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this was a couple of years ago. Yeah, that makes sense. No, I just don't think Colby's fighting again. Like, I think this is all like in the latest news that came out this past week was that he only wants to fight Bo at 170. Then he did an interview 2 months ago saying that he was going to move up to 85. So why is the weight an issue now? You know what I mean? Like,
dude, the guy doesn't get under my skin, but like he's just step aside. So I'm watching TV with my wife and I see the video about him telling Bo Nickel to come down to 170. And I got so fired up about it because look, I've been clamoring for the guy and I get it. Like, I'm not as big of a name and you were main event at Madison Square Garden and all that shit. Well, listen, dude, I'm going to give you your shine, which, you know, you should go from Colby Chaos Covington to Colby Cannon Fodder Covington, because that's the only reason you're still in the rankings. They are keeping you there for cannon fodder to propel a prospect. Like, they're not going to give him Gilbert Burns if Gilbert beats Mike Malott. But if Mike Malott beats Gilbert Burns, Colby Cannon Fodder Covington will fight Mike Malott, and that will put Mike Malott over into title contention. Yeah, I'm putting Mike Malott over with this interview. Love the guy. But it's like, it's either, Patty Pimblett, come up from 155 and fight me. He's a big 55er. He should come up and fight me. Oh, Bo Nickel, come down to 170 and fight me. Why don't you just fight somebody in your fucking weight class? Like, and he, now all of a sudden the White House card sucks because you got snubbed. Well, guess what? You know what would have put you on the White House card? If you would have took a fight against me, the fight you turned down against me, the main event, the easy fight. Me, you fight me, you get active again, you get on the White House card. You don't get to fucking sit on the sideline and turn down fights and earn your spot on the White House card because of that. And listen, just because you paraded around in MAGA hats and wore goofy outfits and, you know, Trump this and Trump that, like, that's the past. The most important thing is fighting. Everybody on that card is active. You're not active, you don't deserve to be on the card. I'm sorry. Listen, and this isn't me like taking a shot at Trump.
You make a fair point.
Views.
No, because they took Shavkat out of the rankings, right? Because he was injured, right? Colby stayed in the rankings. Fought in December of 2024. He didn't fight at all last year. That's what I don't understand.
Yeah. So for me, it's like all of a sudden the White House card sucks because he's not on it. That's his mentality. And to me, it's like, dude, you should have took that fight against me. You know, win or lose, you're active. You've earned a spot on the White House card. The fighters that fight deserve to be on that card. Just because you wore cute outfits and wore a MAGA hat and you hang out in Mar-a-Lago and Trump's your boy, that to me, that's irrelevant. This card is for the fighters, you know, and I don't think he's going to come back and fight again. And I don't blame him, dude. He's probably got good endeavors. He's good with RF wrestling. He's got the Real American beer. And like, look, as a competitor, I've always wanted to fight the guy. So it's not I understand it. You know, and it's for me, I just think that there's not a part of me that feels bad for him. He put himself in this position. He should have took that fight against me. He'd probably be on the White House card. So,
well, I think part of it too that people aren't talking about is they gave him that title shot against Leon Edwards, and it wasn't a very good fight, right? That Trump was there. Like, I wonder if the UFC is even reluctant to put him on a card like that because it's like, look what happened last time.
yeah, I mean, and I just don't think, from the rumblings I've heard from people in Florida, he's not a guy, he stays fit. As fighters, we're all going to be in the gym. We're all going to work out. We're going to do stuff, but he's just not a guy that really trains very often, just not very active. And I think it's funny that, like, yeah, I remember the interview he did when he said he's going to go up to 85 and fight Bo Nickel. And I think that fight really got presented to him. And I think he shit the bed. I think he thought that wouldn't happen. I think that he just kind of threw it out there, and just to throw it out there, just like he always does. And it just didn't happen, and it actually happened. I think it just kind of like spooked him a little bit or whatever. I don't know. I'm not doubting his toughness. Colby's a durable, when he decides to bite down his mouthpiece and fight, the guy can fucking fight. No, make no mistake. But I don't think that he expected to have that fight actually be something that could become a reality. I think he just threw it out there, just throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. And I don't think he thought it would stick, and it did. So turn down fights. You get passed up for opportunities.
Okay.
And I think the White House card's great. Everybody's talking shit about it. When Steve Garcia and Diego Lopez open up that card, you're going to think twice.
It's a great card. I think where people were disappointed was that there was supposed to be like a wow factor. Like if you had put together Pereira and Jones, or Islam and Ilya, that has the wow factor. This card is solid. Like, it's a great card, but it doesn't have that wow factor. Other than maybe Pereira moving up, but even then, like, I don't think it's that big. If it was Pereira and Tom, maybe, I don't know, it'd be a bit different. But.
Yeah, but it's hard though if you think about it. Like when it's like they're talking about 6 title fights and things like that. That's unrealistic.
Well, that was Trump saying that though too, right? I think he kind of got ahead of himself, and I didn't think that would happen either. They just don't have they have too many cards to do 6 title fights on one event, right? So.
Absolutely. And you got to save some of the bigger fights, you know? So for me, I think they did good with what they had. Plus, there's a lot of other moving parts to this we don't know. These guys got to pass background checks. And let's be honest, fighters we're not all cut from the cloth of like people that live behind a white picket fence in a gated community, like a lot of us are kind of rough around the edges. So I'm sure maybe part of that maybe went into the process of this matchmaking. So it's going to be fun no matter what. So whatever Colby says, fuck him. It's a great card.
So you talked about this being the last one. This is retirement. Obviously, we know you do the commentary. What else is on the agenda for retirement after this?
Man, I just hit the ground running with just a lot of broadcasting stuff, and that's another thing. I know I'm being super long-winded in this interview.
No, go for it. Yeah.
That's another thing that kind of factors into this decision, man, is like, I've been juggling 2 careers, and I have to take time away from one to focus on the other. And I've just put myself in this position with broadcasting where it's like, it's just time to go all in. I think I'm on the last rung of the ladder. I'm doing Contender Series. I'm doing Road to the UFC.
Battlefield Fight League, doing a great job there. I got to see it. Two events
shout
ago.
out to my guy, Jay. I'm sad I missed that last card, man.
I missed it too. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody was pretty gracious. Zach Candido and everybody they knew, and Rob Haydak, I work for CFFC now, and Jay Golshani, they were all like pretty good about like, if this is your last fight, we're going to clear the path for you. Just focus on camp. So outside of UFC BJJ and One Death Show, I just focused on that. So I hit the ground running, man. Thursday, UFC BJJ, April 2nd. And then I think I go to Philly on the 3rd, CFFC BJJ. I'm all over the place. So just hit the ground running, doing broadcasting stuff. And I'm going to eat a fuck ton of pizza, and I'm going to drink a lot of beer, smoke a little weed, and just start to enjoy my retirement.
2 more quick questions. If this is the last one, and I'm sure it is, but you never know with MMA. What's been what's been the biggest, your most memorable highlight of your career, looking back?
Man, it's without a doubt the Ultimate Fighter finale.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's pretty hard to top that, and just everything that went into that, obviously. And
and I never found out what it was like to win a world title. I got close. But I can confidently say I don't think it would have felt better than winning that tough finale after everything I went through, what all my family went through, to win that tournament on my mom's birthday and have her in the octagon. It's hard to beat that.
Yeah, that's an easy one. And last one, are you going to switch your allegiance on the NBA side of things with the Sonics coming back?
Shit. Oh, dude, you really saved the best for last.
I did. Yeah.
Dude, that's so hard. Like,
I
I
know.
don't know, man.
Because your dad was a Knicks fan, right? Was my understanding?
My dad, not a like my dad was more of a baseball guy. My
Oh, okay,
dad
gotcha.
loved the Mariners. Big Mariners guy. Big Giants fan. New York Giants fan. Basketball, we used to watch the Bulls a lot, but you know, I just chose the Knicks because we didn't have the Sonics once I
Right.
really started to follow sports. And my dad was born in Brooklyn. I got family in New York.
Oh, that
And
makes
dude,
sense.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's gonna be so hard. Like just this last December, my friend Joanne that works for MSG gave me floor seats to a Knicks game and sat me next to Carmelo Anthony.
Oh, damn.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
pretty hard for me to like
You could just
jump
like
ship.
both, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, if you saw my closet and how much Knicks gear I have, dude, and I
Yeah.
love the Knicks culture's fun, man.
Yeah.
It's a fun team culture in terms of like the fans, and you go to the Garden, and you're like, it's fun outside of like sometimes the Knicks performances. Outside of that, it's really fun being a Knicks fan.
But I guess, yeah, you would have been a little bit too young for like with the Sonics in their prime, like with Kemp and Peyton and all that, and like it was
Yeah,
such a special relationship with the city that I don't think people realize. And then what happened
no,
with the owner coming in and then taking them to Oklahoma City, and granted they had the arena issues, but like people are so excited for the Sonics to come back. Like I live in Vancouver, and like people here are excited about it.
oh yeah, because you guys lost the Grizzlies as well.
We got
So
double whammy on that one. Yeah,
yeah, you guys
Grizzlies are
got
gone,
smoked.
and the Sonics. So yeah,
Yeah, dude, I think that honestly, I'm a two-team guy anyways, dude.
yeah.
I'm a fan of athletes. Like I don't care. People give me shit like you can't be a two-team guy. It's like, yeah, well, whatever, dude. I don't give a shit. Like I'll support both teams. I got an East Coast team, I got a West Coast team. We're actually talking about trying to get season tickets, which would be sweet because there's so many games and it'd be good for the city, dude. People don't realize like you go to a Seahawks game and you deal with the 12s and the culture over there. Like Seattle's such a great city for sports.
Big
So
time.
it would be good to have the Sonics back.
Yep, and they're going to be cheering you on next week, Mike. Thanks again for doing this. UFC Seattle, March 28th. Anything you want to plug before we get out of here? I'll give you the last word.
Dude, no, I just, whether you loved me or you hated me, you tuned in. I love you guys and I'll see you March 28th.